Welcome, everyone. I'm Kimberly Boschman, and this is the Intentionally Intuitive Podcast. In this episode, we're going to take a look at each life path number's forecast for December 2023. So we are inching quite quickly towards the new year of 2024. And so I do have those forecasts up on my YouTube channel and my podcast for each life path number. If you haven't checked yours out, be sure to do so. This is also a great time to take a look at your own personal numerology in a year ahead forecast or your diamond report. If you'd like to take a look at that or dive a little bit deeper, then book some time with me. My information is in the description box below. All right, so let's go ahead and get into it. Life Path 33-6. So for you all, you're going to be working with the energy of the 7 this month, and you're also going to be working with B energy. So with the 7 energy, anytime we're in a 7 cycle, it's an opportunity for greater self-discovery. There's a greater sense of awareness that we can tap into in this cycle. So when we have a 7 cycle, we can gain the sort of bigger answers to the bigger questions that we pose to the universe, to our soul, to wherever. And a lot of times it just comes through experiences, right? Or something that we sort of have like an aha moment, and it opens us up to something greater, something bigger about ourselves. And so once we have that awareness, the question becomes, what are we going to do with it? Once we've discovered something new about ourselves, what are we going to do with it? And so we almost become obligated to do something with it, to change course or change directions or make modifications to our current path or journey, with that new insight. So it's very possible that some new truths could come in for you this month, and it could challenge sort of your previous belief systems or the way that you used to do things. But whatever it is will feel more aligned for who you are in this moment, as opposed to who you were when you started, the old patterns, whatever those may be. So that can be uncomfortable because now we have a new way of seeing things and we have to make adjustments in our current living situation or our current circumstances. That can be uncomfortable, but that can move us towards something much more comfortable and much more aligned. So anytime we have a 7 cycle, it can bring forth transformation, right? Just through that self-discovery or that bringing of truth to a situation. Because the 7 always sort of pushes us to dig deeper, to see beyond the surface layer and to see what's really at play so that we can gain deeper understanding and deeper empathy or grace for the situation, ourselves, or the other person. So there could be a lot that comes in as far as asking you to look at where it is that some adjustments might need to be made, right? But that are aligned with the core being of who you are. Also, pay attention to your dreams, pay attention to any sort of psychic downloads that you get, any intuitive hits, because during a 7 cycle, these can be very prevalent and strong. So definitely pay attention. But there's definitely something about digging deeper, going below the surface of a situation before becoming reactionary, before making a decision about something. Dig a little bit deeper. Use your intuition as well as your sort of wisdom, and couple that with the knowledge, the logic, the very physical experience that you're being presented with, and then make decisions from that space. What's interesting with B energy is there's sort of this, I don't know, when I think about bees, that there's this very like instinctual process that they have. They know what they're meant to be doing, and they do that, right? And maybe they make modifications in how they do that to be more effective, but they know in their sort of core being what their purpose is, what they're meant to be doing, to not only better their own life, but to quite literally benefit the life or lives on the planet, right? Like without bees, there would be no life. They are the pollinators. They are what helps everything to grow and to flourish. So it's interesting because with B energy coming through and the 7 energy coming through, there might be something that you're neglecting about yourself that's like at the core of you, that you know is a part of you, and that really is a bigger part of your purpose, that maybe you have been neglecting or avoiding because it makes you uncomfortable. 9 times out of 10, I don't know, I would say 10 times out of 10, but just to kind of keep it, just to be safe, I will say 9 times out of 10, our true purpose, our what we're meant to share with this world, how we're meant to contribute and show up is oftentimes very uncomfortable. It's oftentimes very much outside of our comfort zone. And that doesn't necessarily have to be about like career, right? It can be about just your presence in the world, how you show up. And sometimes that can feel really, really uncomfortable. And so with B energy coming through and the 7 coming through, it's sort of pushing you to have this greater awareness of yourself and your greater gifts and your purpose, and to follow that inner guidance, that inner knowing, right? Just like the bee knows it's meant to find the flowers and pollinate. So yeah, there's definitely something very, very beautiful, very deep here for you 33s. How it presents, of course, will be unique to each of you. But it's definitely trying to get at the core of who you are. And that's very big, right? And that probably won't happen in the course of, 30 days or a month, right? But it can plant the seed. It's almost like tapping into something and you'll feel it. And it doesn't mean that it's got to bloom right now, but it will. And so your job is to continue to nurture whatever this is, because at the core of it is really who you are. And that can change, but there's, the way that looks or presents can change. But at the core of who you are is the core of who you are. And so, part of the journey is for that essence to continue to evolve and come out into the world to be shared. But again, that can be incredibly uncomfortable, especially when people don't understand, or, you're surrounded by, just an environment maybe that's not supportive of that, whatever the case may be, where it doesn't necessarily feel like you'll be accepted if you show up authentically as yourself type thing just yet. And so, again, it can create an uncomfortable atmosphere, but you're meant to move through that uncomfortableness. And again, however it shows up for you. But there's definitely something here with B energy and the 7 energy that's trying to get to the root of you, to your core, and to have you really, really, truly feel that and honor that and express that. And if you're not ready to express it yet, to at least honor it, nurture it, acknowledge it, and continue to work with it until you are ready to express it. Especially as 33s. And that's why this is just such a beautiful message, even if I'm not articulating it in the most beautiful way. But there is something here for you 33s where, 33 energy is incredibly rare. And so to be able to step into that energy can be uncomfortable. And to be that presence can be uncomfortable. But there's also that deeper inner knowing. And then life will present you with what you need to be able to step into it. But with B energy coming through, the 7 coming through, I think a lot of greater awareness can also come through this month. So incredibly beautiful, very spiritual, very connected energy, but also with B energy, it grounds it as well. It brings it back to this human experience. And like, what is it that your soul really, really wants to achieve in this lifetime? But not only that, like, how does your soul truly want to express itself in this lifetime? And that has nothing to do with career or, sort of how you make money. It's a different experience. So anyway, I could go on and on and on about this, but if this message is for you, you're going to feel it, right? And so just pay attention to what comes for you this month and what it's trying to show you that is at the core of you. So I hope it's a beautiful December. It certainly has the potential to be. Take care, 33s. Bye for now.